Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, I'll follow up on that Lionel 8304. Cleaned up the shell a bit, got it lubricated and fairly clean, and just been running it to get it used to running again. It's actually in fairly decent condition, as you can see. So I've lightly oiled it, haven't touched up the paint, haven't done anything else to it yet, except cleaned a lot of the junk off of it. There's lots of oxide on the paint, along with a lot of genuine dirt. Anyway, I haven't done anything with the electronic tinder yet. I'll be turning my attention to that next. But in the meantime, I wanted to get this locomotive lubricated. It's actually running quite well. So I put a tinder on it, still pulling the 6 Lionel passenger cars. As you see, let's take this up, that's 50% power right there. Now this is a fairly heavy locomotive. All cast, of course. So as you see, it actually runs quite well. Let's bump this up. There's 60% power. So for the next hour or so, I'm just going to run it, just so it gets used to running again. But as you see, that's running quite well. It's smooth. Good constant speed all the way around. Headlight is working, reverse is working. It is smoking, if you want to call it that. A few wisps as it's running. Probably can't see it in the video, but it is slightly smoking. I put 4 drops of oil in it with no great effect at all. But as far as an overall locomotive, it is running really, really well, as you can see. Like I said, good constant speed all the way around. It's nice and smooth. It's quiet. There's no damage to the shell at all. Headlight works. E-unit works. And it's complete and intact with no damage at all. It was definitely worth the 16 bucks. Whether that electronic tinder works or not. Anyway, it's a good heavy cast locomotive. Lionel 8304 442. And as you see, it's running just absolutely splendidly. So it's going to be a great addition to the collection. Like I said, I'm just going to very likely just let this run. Put it on different rails, let it pull different consists. But it's running quite well. So I'm pleased with it. Like I said, whether I can get this electronic tinder working or not, it was still worth $16. This is running really well. It looks nice. It's intact. It's complete. An old, solid locomotive, that's for sure. The thing's quite heavy. So anyway, just a quick follow-up. As you see, I think it was well worth the $16. You can see a bit of smoke when you shut it off. And whether the tinder works or not, I won't know until I pull it apart. Probably put it on the bench, hook it up to a power supply, and test it that way. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, which I'm sure it probably will not, that circuit board's been rattling around in there for a very, very long time. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, the 8304 is up and running. Looks good, runs well. Did a bit of judicious lubrication on it. And there's not a whole lot of touch-up to do, as you can see. Some of the high spots. And that's it. It hasn't had a whole lot of use. It's been sitting for years. It had some runtime, but not a lot. So the thing has been sitting for 40 years, probably. But a few drops of oil. It's up and running forward and reverse. Like I said, no damage to it at all. It's complete, it's intact. So now I'll turn my attention to the tinder, see if we can get that going. If not, the only option, of course, is to replace the circuit board, which I very likely will not do. I spend my money on locomotives rather than accessories. So anyway, I just want to do a quick follow-up video on this 8304. This thing is just running absolutely perfectly, as you can see. That's at 50% power, running splendidly. No problem with it at all. A nice old locomotive. Anyway, just a quick follow-up. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.